Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Monday, April 24th, 2023. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, that's Tass Mellis.
Podcast listeners, this is for you.
Next to him, it's the bearded one, my top shot hot boy, Trey Kirby.
Heyo.
Heyo. And last but not least, over yonder, making the magic happen, super producer JD.
Hello.
There he is. Here we are. Shout out to the stream team joining us live right now on YouTube. Like the vid, comment away, subscribe. Get your No Dunks merch over at nodunks.com. New shirt alert for all you Sixers fans out there. This dropped after the Sixers took care of business in the first round. A little Sixers logo throwback here with the No Dunks flare.
A lot of colors on that one there, Skeetsy.
Oh, a lot of colors on that t-shirt,
Beautiful.
TK. Go to nodunks.com if you are a Sixers fan or you know a Sixers fan in your life that would like one of those.
And if you're not, just hope your team advances in the playoffs. That's all I'll say. You better hope so.
We may not be done with the new merch alerts. Okay, after this classic today, fire up Maddie and JD's latest Is This Good? Special guest, Daniel Ralston, a music podcaster, a music writer. Mm-hmm. The guys discuss fake zombies, doing the wave, pooping on someone's lawn, and the joy of a good tribute band, among many other things. This is a solid one here, is it, JD?
It's great,
Okay.
yeah. But pooping on someone's lawn, that's a problem that Daniel faces.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, I can't wait.
I hope he has the
Present.
lawn. If I'm being honest with regards to the two parties involved.
Okay, we're going to check out Is This Good when you're done with this one here. We are 4 games into the first round, for most of them at least, with a surprising amount of clarity. We got the Nuggets, the Knicks, the Celtics, Suns. They're all up 3-1. Sixers, as I said, they finished off their sweep this weekend. Just one series, Warriors-Kings, tied at 2-2. And we have 2-1 series, and they go down tonight. And I say that because that first one, 7:30 p.m. Eastern on TNT, we got an NBA watch party on playback. It's Game 4 between the Bucks and the Heat. Are either of those guys in that graphic I made playing?
Oh, Giannis-less Bucks. I think they're both playing.
Okay, good.
I would be shocked if Giannis-less Bucks doesn't play in a must-win game here in Game 4.
Winner.
That's the best team in the NBA in a situation where they're in a must-win scenario here. And in the first round, because they're down 2-1. Giannis is playing. There's no doubt.
Well, look, we're going to be watching it tonight. So join us. I will make sure to include that link in the show notes. We'll tweet it out. Sign up for free with playback, and then you sign in with what other subscription service you have to watch your games, and we watch it together, and we hang out. We have a blast, and we chat away, and hopefully we get an entertaining game. But we're going to talk about all 8 of these series here, so we got to move with some pace. Let's start in the Western Conference, and let's start with that 2-2 series. On Sunday there, Curry and the Warriors hold off the Kings. I mean, hold them off. 126-125 to even that series at 2 games apiece as we then head back to Sacramento. But holy crap, this series is delivering.
Absolutely.
I mean, these are entertaining games and a wild ending in this one.
It's so awesome that all the hype leading into this series, first series for the Kings in so long against the defending champs, has absolutely lived up to expectations, and you get the perfect drama to start this game because Draymond Green's not in the starting lineup after returning. What up with that? And then the Kings have a 68-point first half. They look amazing. Fox looks amazing.
Yep.
So in the locker room, the Warriors say, we can't stop that Fox guy. What are we going to do? Well, let's put Green in the starting lineup to start the third quarter, and that slowed them down. They only had a 23-point third quarter. And at the end of the quarter, the Warriors were up 10 with a back-breaking 3, it seemed like, from Klay Thompson. What a swing, but the Kings aren't going anywhere. Fox is on the bench for this run in the fourth quarter that they come back. Keegan Murray is alive. That's awesome. And then Steph sort of takes control in the middle of the fourth quarter, and then but it comes down to the last few minutes.
Yep.
It was kind of mistake-filled, the last few minutes. But Draymond Green, a damn versatile defender. He's guarding De'Aaron Fox, but with a $140 left, he stops Harrison Barnes, and Domantas Sabonis right at the rim lets out a monstrous scream. So it looks like the Warriors have it. It's a 5-point lead. 47 seconds left.
I left I left my screen. I left my living room.
I thought you were in Sacramento for a second. Or in Golden State.
You said it was
Pulled a Kenny
126.
Smith and walked right out.
126, 121, 45 seconds ago. I'm like, okay, that's a wrap. I had to get going to get down to the Fortress for some Hawks Celtics action. I'm like, okay, that's good.
Mobile.
I was furious.
Pull it up on the
I was
phone?
furious with the Hawks promotions department. They emailed me saying you got to show up early. There's an Atlanta United game. I missed the whole fourth quarter of this one driving. Had to catch up later on. Spicy.
Why aren't you driving? You're driving with Dad.
Driving with Dad.
Somebody's got to hold the phone.
Well, I mean, Tess. It's a hands-free
passenger.
state. I don't want to admit anything here, but I didn't totally miss the fourth quarter, if you know what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah, that's totally fine.
Well, I thought it was just
Passenger's
over.
holding it.
I thought it was over.
Yeah, sure.
It's a 5-point lead.
It was over. Should have been over.
It should have been over, yeah. Malik Monk misses. Steph Curry grabs the board. He's trapped, and he calls a timeout. But they don't have a timeout remaining because Steve Kerr, with a couple minutes left, an ill-advised challenge of Kevon Looney's foul, where they lost that timeout.
Yeah.
But then Steph said after he called the timeout after the game, he said, I thought that was the smartest move ever. He said, I ain't gonna lie, I thought it was the smartest play in the world when I got the ball, turned, saw the trap, and called the timeout. But he didn't have one. So a wild swing because it's a tech free throw for the Kings and a change of possession. So they go hit a free throw. Now it's a 4-point game. De'Aaron Fox, step back three in Draymond Green's eye. It's a 1-point game. Then Steph misses a jumper on the other end. Here we go. 10 seconds left. De'Aaron Fox with the ball. Game on the line. That's what you want if you're the Kings. Apparently Mike Brown called flat. We want it flat. Nobody come near the ball. Harrison Barnes did on his own. Come set a pick. And so that brings another defender. And Steph and Draymond together have been together for such a long time. Steph did a great job of stopping Fox, getting the ball out of his hands. It goes to Harrison Barnes, who has a wide open three. It's wide open, but he goes just a touch long. Huge swing, another inch, and they're going back to Sacramento 3-1, but now we're tied at 2. What a friggin' series.
I sort of wish that Mike Brown and the Kings didn't call a timeout at the end there. Like when they got the stop on Curry. Curry had hit the ground. They had the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, you had enough time, obviously, to push it. You got Fox, the fastest guy in the league. They're probably scrambling a little bit more, but most coaches are going to elect to call the timeout and run something. But I bet he wishes he had that one back. But they got a great look. Harrison Barnes had a chance, and they had a chance to basically end the Warriors dynasty. If that goes up 3-1 going back to Sacramento, I don't think a lot of people would be believing they could win 3 in a row. Instead, we have a 3-game series here. Crazy.
Yeah, and crazy to think that game 1 came down to Wiggins, wide open 3, just like Harrison Barnes, that he barely missed just as well. Then Curry took his little 1-footer that didn't really have a chance. But very close games both ways for both of these teams. Honestly, I thought great defense from Draymond. Because, like you're saying, maybe they shouldn't have taken a timeout because that gave the Warriors a chance to set up, get their defense ready, Draymond to stand right where De'Aaron Fox wants to go every time.
Yeah.
How many times have we seen him hit a 15-footer from the left elbow? Draymond just camped there. Curry forced him into Draymond. Draymond took it away. We're living with Barnes. Can he beat us? Nope.
Yeah.
Good shot from Barnes, just a little bit off. So yeah, this to me was like the epitome of the Warriors-Kings games that we were expecting heading into this series because it was like not a ton of defense until it really, really mattered there from Draymond at the end of the fourth quarter. But big shot after big shot after big shot. Both teams putting up a ton of points, 126 to 125. That was the peak thus far. And a lot of times when the team that was down 2-0 wins 2 at home, gets an emotional win in game 4, you're thinking, that's the series right there.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Kings have played too well, and they've hit back every single time the Warriors have made a move in this series. It's been so close both ways, except for Game 3, basically. So I think this one's still spicy. I mean, it could be a Warriors win in 6, could be a Kings win in 6, could go to 7. It doesn't feel like it's over. That was basketball.
Yeah, there's no reason to doubt the Kings. I totally agree. They were down 10 after 3 quarters on the road in this one. They could have buckled. They came right back, and they won the fourth quarter by 9 points. They won that fourth on the road. So I don't think there's any reason. I do think the Warriors are getting better as the series goes on. Wiggins is getting more comfortable.
Absolutely.
They found a better matchup with Draymond Green playing defense against De'Aaron Fox.
Kerr's just tightened up his rotation, too. That's the other part of it.
Don't
Don't play the bad guys.
Exactly. Like less minutes for these guys to give them 5-6 minutes. He's like, nah, you're out now. You're out of the rotation completely.
Yeah.
It's probably the way to go to win the series.
With Green back, and you got a bad Gary Payton the second game. Although Keegan Murray did wake up in this game.
That's good for Kings fans.
His first good game in 4 games. Domantas Sabonis hasn't played to his potential, so you'd hope to think that he'd have a good Game 5. But yeah, I think it's advantage Warriors with these last 2 or 3 games, even though you're going back to Sacramento, I think.
I'm glad you brought up Wiggins. I saw Anthony Slater at The Athletic pointing out how impactful he has been. And it is crazy when you think about it. This is a guy, Wiggins showed up, scrimmaged for a few times with the team, got the green light to play in Game 1, and he hadn't been in an NBA game, an NBA environment since Valentine's Day. Here he is in Game 1, 17 points, 3 boards, 4 blocks. Game 2, 22 points, 5 boards, a steal in nearly 40 minutes. Game 3, 20 points, 7 boards, 3 assists, 1 block, 34 minutes. And then Game 4, another great game, and he seems to get a little bit better here. 18 points, 8 boards, 3 assists, 4 blocks, and 2 steals in, again, nearly 40 minutes because he's tightened up the rotation there, 38 minutes in Game 4. It was like gone for months. It just sort of speaks to like how the athletic freak he really is.
Oh, I mean, Fox is the fastest guy on the court, but Wiggins looks like clearly the best athlete on the court. And the fact that like he had 8 boards last night, that's how Draymond can come off the bench. The Warriors can play a smaller unit, get more offense on the court in the first half of these games, largely because Wiggins is holding his own as a rebounder. For the Warriors. Another good game for Jordan Poole. He's been good since he moved into the starting lineup. I wonder if the Kings might do the same for Malik Monk, because another no-show from Kevin Huerter. 2 points, 1 for 4 shooting. Monk has had a really good series. He's had 1 off game so far in Game 3. I wouldn't be surprised to see a little more, a change in the starting lineup for the Kings, just to get more scoring on the court. Maybe Huerter finds a rhythm better coming off the bench. We've seen him perform in the playoffs, but this has not been a good start for him. And Keegan Murray, I guess, is hitting enough threes from outside in this game to make it so you don't necessarily have to play Huerter if you don't want to.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, just back to Wiggins. I'm totally with you on the starting lineup changes potentially for the Kings. Wiggins is doing all he can against Fox, but it just shows how good Fox is. He just shakes Wiggins, no problem. He had 38 points in this game because he's that damn good. Wiggins is coming through, though. He had 9 blocks total. No one else in the series has more than 5. I mean, he's really chipping. He had the last bucket for the Golden State Warriors in this game. He's chipping in. He's doing exactly what the Warriors asked for him coming back. It just shows how supportive they were of him, and he's obviously paying them back here. It's pretty cool for him to be this great right off the bat.
Game 5 of this series, not till Wednesday. So we got a little bit of time here. I don't know if that's good or bad. Like, we're all into this series and we're hyped. So on one hand, we're like, let's go, let's play, let's jump it up right now. But on the other hand, it's like, let both teams get a little rested more, full squads here, and we'll see what happens with the cowbells out there in Sacramento in Game 5. But it's amazing that it's living up to the hype, and it's cool to see Fox. He's matching Curry. I mean, they're washing each other out. They're just playing at elite levels. They're both good for 30-plus points a game here. They do it in different ways, don't get me wrong, but it's not because Fox has struggled at all in this series. They had to put the greatest defender probably in the league on him to even like slow him down and contain him. And Draymond, man, it is pretty amazing that you're like, hey, go stop De'Aaron Fox. Okay, guy's on fire right now. Keep him in check. Okay, no problem. Hey, Sabonis, all-star, all-NBA player. Keep him in check. I mean, he got his numbers, Sabonis, but Green is like, he's sort of in his head a little bit, I think, here too.
Definitely.
And like you even saw that one where Sabonis is like, okay, you're just going to give me this jumper. I guess I sort of have to take this jumper at the free throw line. He hit it. I wonder if he should be a little more aggressive with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's got his numbers, not enough numbers, though. He's averaging
Yeah.
he's 14 points and 7 boards, 8 assists, obviously helping out. But maybe a lack of confidence if he's, think he has to overthink a jumper. Just shoot that, baby. You can hit that,
baby.
I mean, you're Domantas Sabonis.
Yeah.
You should be able to score. And the good thing I think about potentially bringing Malik Monk in for Kevin Huerter, who's really struggling in this series, that maybe Monk slows down just a bit, because at the end of this game, in those turnovers, he was just going way too fast, and he was complaining a lot about not getting foul calls. They had 3 turnovers in the last 4 minutes that were frankly just bad turnovers.
Yes.
Maybe Monk just has to slow down. I mean, they could win this game if they just have some better ball handling there, and Fox can do it all. Somebody just has to chip in a bit.
To go full circle there, like I said, I wish they didn't call timeout at the end, Mike Brown and the Kings, and they pushed it. Probably why they did is because they blew like 3 or 4 fast break opportunities like late in this game. There was that one where Fox just threw it out of bounds.
Yep.
It was miscommunication. It was like, is it going to Sabonis? Is it going to somebody else? Good defensive plays in transition too from the Warriors, but there was a couple like where you're just like, Kings, you got to play near, not perfect, but way closer to perfect to beat this dynasty here, and they blew it a couple times. There was opportunities there, especially in transitions. Maybe that's why he called the timeout. It's like, this will beat throwing it away. This will live and die by Harrison Barnes' 3-point attempt.
Usually a head coach after a game will say, hey, we didn't get the foul calls. Mike Brown about his own team said, we got to stop complaining about the foul calls and just play ball and slow down a little bit, because he knows where this game was lost. It was lost in those last few minutes where the Warriors gave him everything on a silver platter that they possibly could. I mean, they gave you a Chris Webber tech.
Yeah, exactly.
They gave you the
Threw
ball
away
back.
that
They give you a
one time.
4-point possession down 5. Here you go. Have it.
That was a mean three that Fox
That was nice. That was a nice one, yeah.
gave to Draymond Green there, who said I probably should have guarded the 3-point line in a 4-point game, gave him a 2 instead. But that was just hard to guard. That man's hard to guard, and that's
Hard
why.
to guard.
I think if Sabonis is a little bit better, this game could be totally different.
All right, let's keep it going here. The last game of the weekend, last night, Sunday night, the Wolves survive in overtime to beat the Nuggets 114-108. And after an entire weekend of watching nothing but NBA basketball, of course, the last game on Sunday night's got to go to overtime in crazy fashion, where the Wolves are up 12
Yep.
with a handful of minutes to go. Should be a wrap, and the Nuggets rip off a 12-0 run, led by Jokic, though he does miss one free throw, and that got us to overtime. But in overtime, Nickeil Alexander-Walker hitting 2 big threes, and Anthony Edwards was special in this game, throughout the game here, especially in the second half into overtime. And they survive. They win. And they are not getting swept. This one screams gentleman's sweep. It was like Jokic, in fact, missing that free throw was the ultimate gentlemanly move.
Missing the first one, too.
Yeah.
to take all the drama out of it. So shout out to that. You asked last week, Tass, when the Timberwolves had a 40-point quarter and a loss. Do we do moral victories in the playoffs? Is this an immoral victory? Leading by 12 and then not scoring the last 2.5 minutes of the game and only getting the win in overtime because the MVP missed a free throw that would have won the game? I think so, but you'll take it because you didn't get swept. Yeah. And that's exactly what Anthony Edwards said. I don't want people to say I got swept in the playoffs. So he put the team on his back. I saw he now has as many 30-point games in the playoffs, more than any other player before 21 and under, except for LeBron. LeBron's number 1. Edwards tied with Kobe for the most. He's a special player. He had the most energy, the most juice on the court last night. And after a couple of tough games to start this series, it's really nice that he's found his rhythm and just keeps showing up in big moments. So that's awesome for the Timberwolves.
Jokic missed a free throw, but he feels so confident shooting anything right now. He's schooling Rudy Gobert in this series. He shot 15 of 26. You don't see a big number like that from Jokic a lot.
Yeah.
43 big points. And, a nice victory for Anthony Edwards, throwing him in the LeBron/Kobe category before 22. I was shocked. 30-point games before 22. You'd think Luka would be there, but he just missed. He got it when he was 22 years old. It is a moral victory for them. And I will say for the Nuggets, a moral victory for them, we talked about it throughout the series here, is the Michael Porter second half experience to help out Jamal Murray and Jokic. I mean, he is stepping up and being that guy. He only had 9 in the second half of this game. He had 15 in the game 3's second half. He's just really helping up, and so that bodes well for this team going forward. It's nice to get a victory, I guess, just overall.
Yeah.
They fought and they scrapped, and they are still missing Jaden McDaniels. That would have helped a decent amount, but their depth came through. Austin Rivers, hello, hitting a couple of shots.
Playoff Rivers.
Yeah. And Nickeil Alexander-Walker, like I said, those 2 threes in overtime. But he did a good job on Jamal Murray, too, at least making life difficult for him with his length and being so young and stuff like that, sticking with him as much as possible. I thought he did a great job defensively. But we all think this is ending in the next game, right? Like the Nuggets are going to win at home? Or do you have any hope that Anthony Edwards could, do another game of this or something? Get us back to Minnesota.
I think he could have a 50-point game in the playoffs at some point in his career. Maybe it's game 5.
Yeah, they're going to need
I don't necessarily know that I would bet that that's going to be the case, but the Timberwolves have looked better in the last 2 games, and it looks like they've got a little bit of fight in them, and hopefully that continues when they get back to Denver.
Yeah, they do need a second guy to really step up and help Anthony Edwards. We've talked about Towns. He's been okay.
Maybe one of their, guys that makes massive amounts of money.
Him or Rudy. Rudy's got the Euro step, but he doesn't have the Euro finish. He's got it all the time.
That's a sick move.
Keeps doing it. Yeah, he throws up some air balls after the Euro step. He's got the footwork. He just doesn't have the handwork really to go along with. And so they just need a second guy. Maybe it's Nickeil Alexander-Walker getting hot. It could be Conley again, who had a good game one.
Not Towns, though, you don't think?
I know we keep overlooking him.
No.
Game 3 was his game.
He does also. I mean, like we keep talking about it, like the foul trouble issues, but like he just does the dumbest fouls.
He does dumb fouls.
You're like, what are you doing? Like, why are you reaching there? Like that last one was the one that bumped him out. It's like that's a foul. Like it's just like the ref is right there, and you're trying to go for a steal, I guess, but like you gotta play smarter, and he just doesn't in those situations. So. Yeah,
And it should have got him
faith
beat,
in him.
too. Right, that play should have got him beat. Like, Jokic missing 1 of 2 free throws. You're not betting on that. But, yeah, I agree. He's got to be smarter. Only 9 field goal attempts. Part of that is because he took 10 free throws, which is good, getting to the line. But you got to tip your cap a little bit to Aaron Gordon, I think, as well. He's done a really good job in this series. And he's strong enough to be able to battle with Cat, and also quick enough that Towns isn't going to be taking him off the dribble. So he's been really solid, I thought, in this series so far.
Moving on to the Western Conference series from Saturday. LeBron's Lakers beat the Grizzlies 111-101. They take the 2-1 series lead. And Dillon Brooks, you played yourself. Getting tossed in this one, seemed to be shook from the jeers from the crowd. Let's put it that way. He missed a lot of shots. He's been brutal this entire series, 13 of 40. Lakers are daring him to shoot, as you should. And then ejected in the third quarter there for popping LeBron James in the testicles, in the groin area. We called it. We said, well,
I can't believe it.
Somebody's going to get tossed this weekend. Probably be him. But he hits the Hibberts and, seemingly going for the basketball, but whatever, still got him. And he was gone. And then he has the nerve after to be like, stop making me the villain, man. Like, come on.
I'm back out on Dillon Brooks.
Oh, yeah.
I was in for a while. He had a great run of trash talk. But then he hit LeBron in what LeBron literally called the crown jewels.
Do you think he's going to do this?
He called him the crown jewels after
putting the crown on his penis? Okay.
But come on, man. You can't trash talk an entire series. You can't trash talk an absolute legend of the game and then not show up. Terrible game from Dillon Brooks, too. 3 for 13. Then you hit him in the crown jewels, and then you don't do an interview after the game. The next day, you come and say, hey, how are you making me the villain?
That's
probably because you hit 2 guys in the nuts this season, man. So it was fun. It was fun being a Dillon Brooks fan for a couple of months there, but I'm back out. It was a good run.
Yeah, you could have left this game after the first quarter. You didn't need to wait for 3 quarters of this game. It was 35-9 after the first quarter. And I think Darvin Ham set up LeBron versus Dillon Brooks on that first possession after a couple misdirections. LeBron just went right at Dillon Brooks and scored in the lane. But he didn't need to do much in this game. Obviously, Morant came back and did his thing in the second half. A cool 45 points when this game sort of was dead and gone. But just, a weird scenario for Dillon Brooks to be guarding LeBron in the backcourt. This was way in the backcourt in that third quarter. It wasn't even near the hoop, and decided to go after his nuts. Yeah, Crown Jewels is great. I think Crown Jewels was cool to say a long time ago.
You don't hear it a lot.
No.
You don't.
So LeBron bringing it
Crown
back.
Jewels.
I'm totally comfortable with that.
And he is not going to be suspended or anything, Dillon Brooks. Unfortunately, probably for Lakers fans. Fortunately, he will not be suspended for Lakers fans. Maybe unfortunately for Grizzlies fans, the way he has been shooting. He will be playing in Game 4, which is tonight. That's the second game on TNT. It was an 18-2 lead, 35-9, like you said, Tess. And outside of the John Morant run, which was sort of fun, this one was over in a hurry. Anthony Davis, big bounce back performance. I thought was pretty phenomenal in this one. 31 points, 17 boards, 3 blocks. And that's what he should be doing. But he'll have games where he doesn't, and then he looks very pedestrian, and then he looks like a superstar again. So they need 4 of those at least in a series, and you like your chances of winning. But this one goes back, stays in LA here for Game 4 tonight. This is a weird series because of the injuries. It's nice Jaw's back, but I don't know. It's they just look outclassed. I think the Grizzlies do. Even though they're only down 1, they can tie it up tonight.
Got to get one.
Yeah.
Ja looked unstoppable. I mean, the game was over at that point, but Ja did look unstoppable in the fourth quarter. 24 points. He hit 4 threes, though, in that fourth quarter. Ended up with 6 in the game. Ja's not like a three-point shooter. He had a hot shooting night, so you're probably not relying on that if you're the Grizzlies. But there's still nobody on the Lakers that can guard him. So that's
Sure.
if he was able to come back from the injury, hang 46 on the or 45 on the Lakers, that's at least have a chance going into Game 4. It's obviously going to be tough, and I mean the Brooks thing is such a big question because he's obviously like an important part of the Grizzlies, and the attitude he gives them is huge. But also maybe you'd rather have Luke Kennard out there than Dillon Brooks shooting threes, just because you can beat the Lakers from the three-point line in general. So maybe you need the shooting out there. It gives a lot more space to Ja inside as well. I wonder if that's something they consider in Game 4, but that just might be bad for Dillon Brooks. The guy would just get booed sitting on the bench for the entirety of the game until he finally checks in. And the moment seemed a little big for Brooks in this one, I thought. So, I don't know, something to look at going forward.
Yeah, he tried to shoot his way through it. 13 shots in 19 minutes. Yeah, hopefully he can turn around in Game 4. I think it is a win that you got Ja Morant back from the injury in the hand.
Look good.
Looks great.
Right.
So, again, to get back home court advantage, you just need one of those two in LA. So maybe the Lakers are a little fat after a great game. You just got to go steal Game 4.
Final one here from the Western Conference. Kevin Durant scored 31 as the Suns beat the Clippers 112-100. And they take a 3-1 series lead. And, of course, Kawhi Leonard, once again, does not play.
That's a phenomenal
in this game
stuff.
after missing Game 3. And, man, the Clippers, man. This is the ultimate what-if series here. It's like, what if Kawhi was playing? Obviously, on top of that, what if Paul George was playing? Because, holy shit, Russell Westbrook is playing at an incredible level. A lot of these guys are scrapping here. Ty Lue's coaching his ass off. They're in a lot of these games, but it's just a little too much from the offensive firepower of these Suns. But here they are down 3-1, and I don't think a lot of people like their chances to win 3 in a row here.
No, this has been the best series outside of Warriors-Kings, even without the superstars. To me, it's been extremely close and very deflating that Kawhi is the best player through 2 games and then sits games 3 and 4 because of a knee injury. And it's not a pain tolerance thing. It's you could be making this worse thing. So the trainers have kept him out. They said it doesn't matter if you can tolerate the pain. So maybe 2 days off and he comes back because there's 2 days off between games here. I mean, that's just, obviously a ridiculous. That's glass full type thinking. It's hard to really get excited about this Clippers team, even though they've been in 4 games and Russ has played great. They won one, obviously, and could have easily won other ones. And if Kawhi's in it, man, this has been a great series. You could see why the Clippers did this, why they went out and got all this supporting cast, why they went out and got Eric Gordon, and Mason Plumlee and Norm Powell and all these guys to support their stars. But alas, here we are. It's unfortunate. I guess he plays in Game 5. Okay, who knows? Who knows?
Interesting.
More likely he doesn't.
I don't know. Who knows? Anyways, Chris Paul was good in the fourth quarter of this game.
Oh, he was money.
Cash. He hadn't hit a fourth quarter 3 until Game 4. And, he had 12 points, 5 of 9 shooting. He just, he said, much like the no dunks, the starters TBJ crew, he said, you don't get to this point in year 18 by sitting on your ass. He's been working. And here we are in year 18 as well. We're working, man. And so Chris Paul is a fan of the show. That's all I got to say.
You have any Clippers Suns notes on this series or this game in particular?
I think my math is right that the Suns shot 32 of 62 on 2s in this game. Only made 9 threes, but that's Suns basketball. 30 each for Durant and Booker. Yeah. Felt like quiet nights for both of them, and then Chris Paul just slammed the door shut. The Clippers are fighting. They have not given an inch in this series, which is awesome. They're just playing at a disadvantage. They are a play-in team, and that's where Russell Westbrook absolutely thrives. He can make a play-in team look like a playoff team, and that's what he's doing right now. But they just don't have enough. It's Jover.
What'd you think of KD and Chris Paul after this game, giving Russ his flowers here? like going on record talking about.
What are they
like,
supposed to do? Say this guy sucks. Of course we're gonna beat him.
No,
Makes him
no,
look
I just
better to
thought-
say he's good.
It was almost, I guess, the alarming part to me is like they were talking like the series was over.
Yeah, that's what it was to me.
So
too.
it was like, oh, well, hold on. I mean, you do gotta win one more, but it's true. It is nice that I thought it was cool that they were like, especially Durant's like when he's retired, like the narrative is going to flip on this guy, like
Yes.
at how hard he plays, and he even said like people think he's a joke. He's not. So anyway, they were giving him flowers, but yeah, it's not over yet.
Yeah,
technically.
it felt like they were talking about this series as if it was over.
Yeah.
It is cool from Westbrook's side. It's his best playoffs in years. I know it's only 4 games old, but he's been playing better than he has as a Wizard, as a Rocket. I mean, since he was a member of the Thunder, it's been a minute. But yeah, he's balling out. We'll see. He started the series 3 of 19 in game 1, and then picked it up. Shooting wise, I mean, without him, they would have got spanked.
Yeah, that's exactly right. These have only been games because he's been playing and trying obviously on the defensive end as well as he chases guys all the time, like to try and block from behind. It's working.
That's pretty cool.
Fun stat, or excuse me, trivia from Statitudes. Let's test your knowledge. Durant and Booker became just the 3rd duo in NBA history to score at least 25 points apiece in each of their first 4 games of a postseason series. Can you tell me the other 2 duos? And one of them did it twice. One in the 60s, I'll give you that, and then one in the 2000s.
Elgin Baylor and Jerry West.
Well done, my man.
Nice.
62 and 68 they did it.
Nice.
What were the other eras?
I'll give you 2000s is the era.
Shaq and Kobe.
Look at this guy. This guy likes basketball.
That's it.
That's it. And then Durant Booker. Shaq and Kobe in
hard
the Western Conference first round. Yeah, 25 points apiece, like both guys in first 4 games. I know in today's game maybe it doesn't sound like a lot,
Yeah.
but it still is. Like,
Yeah.
it was.
Like Braun and Tatum didn't do it.
Yeah, you just have
that's pretty
one guy
impressive.
have
Yeah,
a-
one guy, exactly.
one guy off a little bit that night. But yeah, there it is. Baylor and West twice, Shaq and Kobe, and then Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. Let's take a break. And when we come back, we'll jump over to the Eastern Conference Playoff Series and go through all 4 of those. One of them already wrapped up. Don't go anywhere.
What an incredible weekend we had this last weekend, guys. We are right in the sweet spot here in Atlanta. Not too hot, not too humid, not too buggy. You just got the sun shining down. Maybe you got a cardigan draped over your shoulders in a jaunty way. That's right. It's perfect wine drinking weather.
Oh, yeah.
Just sitting on that front stoop, dusk descending, swirling a perfectly chilled Pinot Grigio. Is that hints of peach I'm detecting? Great question. Let me consult the handy information card that came with my first leaf delivery. Now, the script is telling me how much I'm supposed to talk about how much I love sharing all this great first leaf wine with friends and family. Yeah, I do not do that. I hide it and I hoard it. It's too good. As America's most personalized wine company, First Leaf takes the guesswork out of wine selection. You just answer some quick questions about your likes and dislikes, and their experts will curate a selection of award-winning wines tailored to your taste, like refreshing rosés, fun sparkling wines, or spring-friendly reds. Not Shiraz, though. Get out of here, Shiraz. They sent me a Shiraz, and I unloaded that one. I did share that one.
Ooh.
David and Ray. They loved it. So, win-win.
Well, I hope you updated your first leaf, sort of information.
I did.
No
I
Shiraz,
did.
please.
I threw it. I was like, Rachel likes Shiraz sometimes, but no.
Okay.
No, couldn't do it. You get to choose how often you receive your wine, and every selection is backed by First Leaf's 100% satisfaction guarantee. And because First Leaf cuts out the middleman and works directly with some of the world's foremost wine producers, you get quality wines at prices much lower than you'd pay at the store. Plus, if you have any questions about your wines, like what to pair them with, First Leaf's certified wine concierge team is there to offer expert advice. I love sharing great wine with my friends and family. No, I don't. I like to hoard it all and keep it for myself, and I know you will too. So give First Leaf a try. Head over to tryfirstleaf.com/nodunks to sign up and save 50% on your first 6 bottles plus free shipping. That's TryFirstLeaf.com/NoDunks to save 50% on your first 6 bottles plus free shipping. Try firstleaf.com/NoDunks.
I'm going to have to come join you on that porch, JD. Drink some wine because my bar cabinet, it's stocked to the brim with First Leaf wine.
You're not drinking it fast enough.
I'm not drinking it fast enough. I'm really not. I gotta start consuming that on a porch.
Come on over.
On top or in the cabinet? We're on one
No,
of
it's
those.
in it, but we're just running out of room.
Now it's spilling out.
And there's some already in the fridge, and yeah, there's a lot.
You don't have to get it every month.
No, I just actually made sure that the next one wasn't coming so soon. Let me get through some of this. I think mid-June maybe is my next one. So a couple months to take down some bottles here.
Larry O'Brien.
That's right. I'll be popping bottles. Yeah.
NBA Winals.
Okay, let's get to the Eastern Conference playoff series. Bing bong. Jalen Brunson, RJ Barrett lead the Knicks over the Cavs 102-93 for the 3-1 series lead. Trey Kirby, you get us started on this one. How shocked are you by how maybe poorly the Cavs have looked in this series or how great the Knicks have through 4 games?
I'm shocked like Jalen Brunson celebrating a 3-pointer.
Oh, boy.
What's that mean? Don't worry about it, because you don't want to know. You do not want to know. But yeah, after game 1, me and Tass were chatting. I said, I see 2 problems here for the Cavaliers in 2 ways. And that has played out since they got to New York. The Cavs don't have as many players as the Knicks, and the players they do have are much skinnier. So we're seeing Mitchell Robinson dominate inside, I would say. He's not putting up crazy numbers. 12 and 11 last night, but had 7 offensive rebounds. I think he's playing the combination of Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley. He's outplaying them. And then if Donovan Mitchell is going to have a 5 for 18 game, 11 points, the Cavs just can't win. The margin for error there is not big enough that they can withstand a game from their star like that, because there's 4 good Cavs right now. The 5th guy, sometimes it's LeVert. He had an awesome game in game 2 for the Cavaliers, which really helped them pull off a victory. But there's 4 trustworthy guys. 2 of them in Allen and Mobley aren't huge offensive threats. Darius Garland, invisible in the first half, had an awesome second half in this one. But if he's not playing well, and especially if Mitchell isn't going to be able to score and have superstar performances, the Cavs really don't have a chance in this one. So that's why they're down 3-1 to me. On the flip side of things, Brunson just gets the shot he wants every single time. And I was really impressed with RJ Barrett doing the same move every single time in the 4th quarter. Just put his head down, go straight to the rim, 10 points, 4 of 7 shooting, went to the free throw line a few times. Kind of disappointing, I thought, from the Cavs, because that's what RJ Barrett does, man. He's going to drive. Yeah. He's not a shooter out there, but he's just going straight by, right to the rack. 10 for him in the quarter, 8 for Josh Hart. He was huge, I thought, in the clutch. Brunson had 8 as well in the 4th quarter. They're playing better in the clutch. That's where this series is going to be won. But the Cavs are looking like a team that's probably a year away. They need some help on the wing. They need some backup bigs to help. Kevin Love might actually be helpful in this series, just to have another guy who can be on the court, who is taller than 6'5". But yeah, bummer for the Cavs to go into New York and lose both these games, and lose the way they did, the same way both times.
Yeah, it's like they haven't showed up for the playoffs, really, the Cavs. They just haven't found another gear, while the Knicks continue to find another way. RJ Barrett gets better as the series goes on. But the Knicks didn't even play great in Game 4 in terms of being efficient at all. They missed 10 free throws. They shot 64% from the line. They missed 21 threes. They shot 27% from 3. And it comes down to Donovan Mitchell just having a 4th quarter. If he is the best player on the floor, which I build him as, after watching him in Utah, I thought he'd be better than Brunson, but Brunson is finding his spot in the mid-range where the Cavs give up shots, and Mitchell has just not been the best player in this series. Jalen Brunson has. They just have to go into New York and win 1 game, and if he's great in this game, then they win. Now, it was a lot of double teaming in the first half, for sure, getting the ball out of his hands. Overall, he had 11 points on 18 shots, but they're double teaming and getting the ball in his hands, and he was turning it over too. He had 6 turnovers. So they had a nice game plan there in the third quarter to go to Darius Garland while you're doubling. Donovan Mitchell, a nice decoy on the other side, but maybe a lack of creativity overall by JB Bickerstaff because he didn't get the ball to Donovan Mitchell in the fourth quarter enough. He can take over. I mean, he can be an offense unto himself, but enough complaining about the Cavs. The Knicks just, as you said, the offensive rebounding. They were minus 10. The Cavs were on offensive rebounds. Period. I mean, that's just effort. Hartenstein has found a way to be really impactful in the series to go along with Mitchell Robinson. And yeah, the Cavs just, if you're fighting and you're scrapping a little bit more, then you probably win, along with Donovan Mitchell. So yeah, the Knicks are winning this series, period. And RJ Barrett was poop in the first two games, and he found a way to impact in games 3 and 26 points in games 4. Even though, again, these numbers aren't great. They shot 27% from 3. That sounds like a bad recipe, but this has been kind of an ugly series, and they missed less. And they got more. I guess they just got more rebounds too. I mean, that's the other big part of it. You just watch this game. They just continuously got more possessions. So how are the Cavs going to win?
Yeah, I think it was Dan Devine. Shout out to our guy Dan at Ball Don't Lie. He said, when you consider like the importance of these games, was this the greatest 2-game stretch of RJ Barrett's career in the NBA?
Sure.
Probably. He's been really good here in games 3 or 4 in 2 games where a lot of guys were struggling to actually hit shots. Brunson, though, damn rock. He's completely outplaying Donovan Mitchell once again.
Yes.
That's the honest truth. And then the one that's really surprising people is Mitchell Robinson playing better than the big Cavs, a guy in Jared Allen who was an all-star, Evan Mobley, obviously a future all-star. But then Hartenstein comes in. He has an impact on the game. Obi Toppin has an impact on the game, gobbling up rebounds. And all of this is happening, a 3-1 series lead, in which Julius Randle has done next to nothing, to the point where Tibbs correctly is benching him in a fourth quarter, big key game here where it was 2-1, obviously 3-1 now. And look, he might be a little frustrated. I know he didn't talk to the media. He seemed into the game on the side. That's just hopefully like he's frustrated because of his ankle, but they're up 3-1, so why would he be all that upset? But that's huge. Like, he's not having dominant Julius Randle games here at all, and they're still up 3-1 because everybody else is contributing. And Josh Hart, my God, what an absolute steal at the deadline to bring this guy in. 18 points, 7 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals, plays nearly 40 minutes. He's pretty instrumental in at least slowing down Donovan Mitchell, a lot of doubles and stuff like that, but he gets a lot of that primary assignment on Mitchell. And he just I love the guy can grab a rebound and then go coast to coast and just attacks Jared Allen. Nobody's afraid of attacking Jared Allen on the Knicks. Minutes later, he hits that little flip shot. He bails out a possession, and then he grabbed an offensive board, and then he found Brunson for a 3. Like, he's making all those little moves. Like, he's Mr. Intangibles, that guy. The Knicks fans love him. Like, they're everything he does.
Oh, totally.
They eat it up. And, they just have, if you lined everybody up right now, outside of that Garland stretch, which was pretty special in the third quarter, in the series, it's you're lining a lot more Knicks players ahead of Cavs players in terms of who's actually contributing throughout the series, in terms of who's been good to great. There's just way more of them. So, yeah, this one, look, I know it goes back to Cleveland. Could Cleveland win that game? Sure, game 5. But I don't see the Knicks losing this series with, the way they're playing, especially in their own garden there. Right. Man, that place is nuts.
It was so
awesome.
loud, man.
It's
it was
awesome.
so loud.
They're chanting for RJ Barrett. Obviously, anything Brunson does, they go nuts. Hart, they're bigs. Every offensive rebound, place goes nuts.
No, they are so happy right now. After that Hart flip shot, where this was still a game with a few minutes left. I mean, he's got this huge smile across his face. The Cavs aren't wiping anybody's smiles off their face. They are just getting outplayed. They're getting beat down right now, and. It's true. Evan Mobley hasn't been enough supporting offensively. Same with Jared Allen. If Mitchell comes out and does what he did in Game 1, he was the best player on the floor. He had 38, and since then it's gone downhill. And I think it is a little bit on Bickerstaff to get him open a little bit more because they're just taking the ball out of his hands now, and he's just kind of out of the game. I mean, he did have a couple of rattlers in the fourth quarter, which would have made this a game.
There were a couple that spit out.
Yeah, they're not executing enough. The bench obviously hasn't come through enough. They're searching for something, and they're getting beat down. They're getting run off the floor. Bing bong guys would come in and run these guys off the floor. They're not. Yeah.
I literally saw, at the end of the game, they do like the credits for who they're getting the photos and the various elements, and one of them was at Bing Bong Guy. It was like Getty Images AP at Bing Bong Guy.
Which I assume that guy.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, then you've seen like the crowds after these wins too. They throw in like parades, taking a 3-1 seriously, and it's like awesome.
Yeah, that's why. I love a daytime game. I heard Kings fans complaining that why aren't we primetime? We should be primetime. You get to celebrate more. First of all, Sunday afternoon is primetime in the NBA.
Yeah,
world.
I was gonna say they got the marquee spot.
Yeah, but sometimes you think we want to be able to go out, party, but you can because it's the daytime. Have some fun. Go spill out onto the streets like you're a bing bonger. Have some fun. So, yeah, Knicks fans are reveling in it. It is wild. Julius Randle not having it, but Josh Hart is. I guess Jalen Brunson was right. I mean, as soon as that trade happened, he was jacked. He's just been the energy guy. And Julius Randle just hasn't been needed, really.
Are you concerned at all by him, Randall, not talking to the media and all that? And, like, is there any worry that, maybe like some selfish Randall's coming out here, or not going to make a big deal out of it?
I mean, you'd rather see him be happy, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But I'm not super concerned about it. It's probably been a frustrating past month for Julius Randle, missing time at the end of the year, coming back, not having a great run of things. He took the huge fall where he was playing even late into that blowout game where it was a question mark why he was even on the floor. Just hasn't been able to get a rhythm. And Obi Toppin was balling. Like, he was given really good minutes for the Knicks last night. So you would rather have Randle being on board with everything, but all he needs to do is have like a 25-point game and he'll be happy again.
Yeah. All right, let's keep it going here. A couple of us in attendance down at the Fortress for Jaylen Brown taking off the mask, throwing it aside. Jason Tatum, they both scored 31. Boston beats the Hawks. Sad caca for the 3-1 lead. Trey, you were there. You saw it go down with your own eyes. You took a beautiful photo for your Instagram.
Hey,
Did
thanks,
you see
man.
that?
I did. It was great.
Fireworks going on.
I didn't expect those
Incredible
fireworks.
timing.
What an addition for the playoffs. Shout out to the Hawks game operations staff. Usually it's just a blowtorch shooting a plume of fire, but not last night. The works were fired as well. I don't know if you felt the same way, Skeets, but somehow this felt like it was always a 10-point game.
Yeah.
It was like the Hawks were playing really well
5,
in the second half. I think they even got it to 4 at one point, 95-91. But the Celtics just hit so many timely shots. It was like anytime the Hawks were putting together a run, they could never get to a 10-0 run or a 14-2 run. The Celtics would just find a way to get a big basket. I think there was that play where things got completely blown apart. Nothing was happening for the Celtics, and Tatum just randomly picks up the ball and chucks it from the logo. Money.
Yeah.
Tatum and Brown were both huge in the fourth quarter of this one. 12 for Brown, 16 for Tatum. It was 56 points in the paint for Boston in this one. At times, it felt like a layup line, especially in the first half. Boston shot 51.7% from the field. This is a game that maybe the Celtics would have lost in the past couple of seasons when the other team is playing pretty well. Like, I thought the Hawks played pretty solid in the second half of this game, but the Celtics just did the right things at the right time, made big shots. Marcus Smart had like a dunk in the half court, wide open, nobody at the rim. Anytime they needed to get it done, the Celtics did it. And that's without like Al Horford ever taking a shot. He took 2 shots last night and had one of the best games on the court. Robert Williams dominated as well. So a really fun game because packed house. A lot of Celtics fans in attendance. You got people cheering for every single bucket. That's the way to do it. But unfortunately for the Hawks, they just didn't have enough.
Yeah, I saw people standing at the end of this game and wondering, why are you standing? Like, the last couple of minutes, the Hawks were done. I mean, this was usually the time where people are filing out of that arena. But people were excited, and I assume it's just because Boston fans were there.
There was a lot of Beantown boys in attendance. For sure. A lot of green. And it's pretty crazy because I had just been to Game 2 in Boston when I was up there for the marathon. Went to that game.
Right.
I don't think I'm exaggerating. There may have been 5 people, including myself, total, wearing Hawks gear in Boston. And then it's just a sea of green and white. So it's quite a glaring difference. They travel, or they're all here. You know, it's a transplant city. That's what they tell me.
Yep.
Look, we're examples. But I think it makes for a fun experience. When it's like every basket, every
really
foul, every controversial thing, it's like everybody's into it because you're screaming one way or the other. So it was fun, and the Hawks put up a fight, but they they just can't stop Jaylen Brown is what it comes down to. He's either too big and strong for any of the guards they throw on him, or he's just too damn fast and athletic for any of the bigs that they try and throw him. He just barrels through guys' chests because he's so damn strong. He finished 11 for 15 once he ditched the mask. Goodbye to the carbon mask. I guess he ripped off the sort of the bandage there on his hand too. And when they step up on him, like the help comes at the back line, he's crafty enough to dump it off to Robert Williams or kick out to open shooters. Like he is. I hope he makes All NBA. I think he's so damn good when you pair him, especially with Tatum. But they're just overclassed.
Yeah, they're huge, and the wings are too huge for the Hawks. We talked about coming into the series that was just a problem for them. It's a disadvantage. But DeAndre Hunter showed up on the other side. You got a really good DeAndre Hunter game for 27 points, and unfortunately, the backcourt didn't come through. Trey's line looks a lot better after going 5 of 6 right there in garbage time at the end, basically. And Dejounte Murray, I thought was he's just gambling way too much.
A lot of gambling.
And the Celtics are just, as you guys have talked about, like 5 out. What are you going to do against this team? I mean, it was a 4-point game with 3 minutes left in the second quarter. The Hawks made a nice, I think it was a 9-0 run. And then the spread was 12 at half because the Celtics just turned it on whenever they want. They just don't go away. Like Trey said, they probably lose this game or fade away, go into half with a much closer spread, but they just don't die. Like everybody on the court, they're just so confident. Another Derek White solid game. Like they're getting it up and down the roster, and the bench comes in. Too much. And at the end of this game with Dejounte Murray gambling and just angry, it seemed like, I guess it's not, I don't know. He was just in a bad mood. And then you saw what he did with the referee post-game.
Yeah, he's probably not going to play in Game 5, I would think.
He didn't want to get on that plane to go to Boston.
So the NBA is investigating. I think we have the clip. This incident involving Dejounte Murray, as the game is ending, as he's walking off the floor, he does, make contact with an official. I mean, he steps to him, bumps him, and then walks off. And the game's over, so there's no tech or anything called or flagrant or whatever, unsportsmanlike. But a lot of people are thinking he is going to miss Game 5 here and might be suspended. Because we did see Grant Williams with the Celtics. He got ejected and suspended way back in October for making contact with an official. And that to me was like way less like... much more accidental. I think Grant Williams wasn't really trying to hit the official in that case. Did, and they still ejected him and suspended him for a game. That's regular season. But this is no doubt Dejounte Murray frustrated. They got a tough whistle, I thought. Though the refs were doing this thing like they would make a brutal call against the Hawks and they would just do a makeup call. They'd be like, no, you stepped out of bounds, not even close. Yeah, you're out of bounds. Okay. They did it like 4 times.
Yeah, there was a lot of makeup calls.
The mad makeup calls in this game, but I don't know. My opinion is Dejounte Murray will get suspended. That's pretty, I don't know how.
He kind of seeks the ref out.
He seeks him
to
out,
bump him,
man.
and then you can see like the ref's head like snaps just to stare down Murray.
Yeah.
He doesn't say anything. You can also see Murray as like arms raised, yelling at another official off the court. Likely a suspension.
I'm telling you, he just didn't want to get on that plane. He's done. He felt like the series was over. It felt like he got, obviously, over-the-top reaction. You can't bump a guy, and that's why he's going to get a game. I don't think there's a question.
Could be a fine, I guess. It could.
Ooh.
Could.
No, that's a game. You bump an official. You bump Gediminas Petraitis, the Lithuanian referee. You get a game. Because that was a real bump. It was egregious, like you said.
Yeah.
The other one was accidental. He went after him, lost his cool, and they lost their steadiest, most consistent player for Game 5. It sure feels like.
Yeah. Zach Zarba was one of the other officials. That man, when he goes to like talk to the camera to explain what had just happened after an instant replay or something like that, or a review, I should say, he dabs himself up to remove as much sweat as possible. He has a little handkerchief in his pocket. And he really wants to look good for the camera. And he's sweating a lot. Like, don't get me wrong, these officials, they're running up and down. Like, they're working their ass off. But, like, that guy just does not want to appear sweaty when he gets on front of that camera.
You can't show nerves if you're a ref.
Oh, man.
He comes up here dripping in sweat, shaking, trying to make a call. Not a great look. But if he dry forehead,
all the time,
slick hair, you're trusting that guy. I had a couple of great in-arena moments at this game. Before the game, I saw somebody, knew they recognized me. He walks up, hey, are you Jay Skeets?
Oh, wow. Yes, I am that tall. Thank you.
I was like, close enough. He's around here somewhere. We had a confetti falling inadvertently moment. I've
Yeah.
never been in an arena where that happened. Had to stop the game for like 15 pieces of silver confetti falling.
I think, Trey, I was the first person in the arena to notice the falling confetti. I noticed it when it was so high. I'm like, that's confetti falling. I'm like, is that going to go on the floor? They're going to have to stop the game. And they did. Though
One
they
piece
moved
of confetti falls very slowly.
It starts to go back up.
It goes back up. It was crazy watching like the security people on the floor just like,
Trying.
Yeah.
Nope, not yet.
Like, go back up, catch a wave.
no. That was very funny. And I caught a shirt for the first time in a long time. We were in our row. I was like, this is a pretty good spot. We might get one here if they pull out the gun. Pulled out the gun. I wasn't standing up. I saw it come up. I was like, that's coming straight to me. Stood up. Boop, one hand. No problem.
And then you could hear
Just went right over the other guy's hand. Sorry, sucker.
And you could hear somebody, great catch, Skeets.
I threw it back.
Did you keep it? Gave it to the kids?
I think this is actually going to be a Laura shirt.
Oh, nice. Was it a deep V?
Wait, you think my wife's a deep V wearer? What are you looking at, man?
Well, I know you guys were talking about.
I got to back up Skeets. She wears V's.
She wears a V-neck. She wears a regular V-neck.
There might be some people wearing V's at Las Vegas Summer League. Andrew Schleck tweeted me.
Yeah, I did see that.
He said he wears V-necks. He likes a good V-neck. Might have a V-neck party
That's the
by
place
the
to
pool.
wear it. That's the place
By
to
the
wear
I'm
it.
ordering one.
Are we going
Let's
for
do
Summer
it.
League, you're talking, eh? That locked in? Come join us in Summer
Soon,
League.
very soon.
See you there.
Soon?
I'm gonna lock it in soon.
Oh, lock it in. Yes.
Yeah. But we're there. We're there. It's only a couple months away. Where were you sitting? I need to know for my next purchase because the gun placement, you never know with the gun shooters. So I just want to know.
The T-shirt gun?
Yeah.
I think if you are I was in row U, so I would say T through W. You're probably good.
Yeah, back
Nice.
the back of the lower ball. You're
Back of the lower ball.
pretty
Yeah.
good.
T to W. Got it.
Okay.
V. I'll be wearing my V-neck.
I get a V.
This one's going to end very, very likely on Wednesday night. When do they play again? No, Tuesday night. I feel like all three series could end on Tuesday night that are 3-1. Potentially, I guess. Potentially. All right, Jimmy Butler scored 30. We're going back to Saturday here. The Heat top the Giannis-less Bucks. 121-99. This was a dominant victory, though injuries have become the biggest part of this series. The Bucks without Giannis for a second consecutive game because of the bruised lower back. The Heat are without Tyler Hero. Jimmy scored 30, but he leaves with a sore back. And Oladipo helped off the floor. An apparent knee injury, did not look good. Your heart goes out to that guy. But here we are. Miami is up 2-1. And yeah, it's like, I almost feel like this is not being even talked about enough for some weird reason. I don't know if because there's so much else going on, because we believe in the Bucks as a better team than Miami Heat, even though they're trailing 2-1. But like Zilla wrote it today, the most consequential question in the entire league right now when it comes to the 2023 championship is when and at what capacity Giannis returns to the floor here. That's crazy.
Confirmed by Shams. Bucks star Giannis Antetokounmpo will return to the lineup in Game 4 versus the
Okay,
Heat
but
tonight.
how does he move?
slow.
How does he
Exactly
look?
right,
Does
yeah.
he fall again? Is he out? I mean, man, this is wild. But anyway, thoughts on the game or the series?
Yeah, I think you're pretty positive if you're in that Bucks locker room that Giannis is going to play pretty well because he's Giannis Antetokounmpo. We saw what he did in the NBA Finals. He wanted to come back in Game 2, but his Bucks teammates, Drew Holiday, said, "Come on, let us do it for you." And I think because they won Game 2, where they were like a 9-point favorite, and I think that's sort of why this series is kind of flying under the radar a bit. The Bucks are they're the favorite. They got so much momentum. They're the best team in the league. They win that game. Then they do lose Game 3. I think Giannis sits out because they win Game 2. So that's why it's not surprising to me that he's come back, because he's freaking nails here in Game 4. And Jimmy Butler's going to play too, because he did leave bruised glute, as they said. But Spoelstra said afterward he could have came back. They were up 18 when he left the game, 3 minutes left in the third. So we should get, besides Tyler Hero and Victor Oladipo, unfortunately, Heat Bucks here with a very different series now, 2-1. But the Heat have caught a wave, and that's the scary part for the Bucks.
Yeah. Duncan Robinson.
They're hitting
Them
right now.
just like hitting shots here in this Game 3.
3 games here where they've had at least 15 threes
Right.
to start this series. And there is a little semblance of that team that went to the finals where they're flying around. They just keep moving, and so they're getting open shots. Now, the Bucks can play way better. There was that 33-9 run between the first and second quarter where the first play started to start this one where Brook Lopez was in the lane, Jimmy Butler guarding him, or Jimmy Butler coming at him, and Brook said, I'm going to go guard the three-point line. And Jimmy had the easiest bucket he's ever had in his NBA career. And they were ready for the Brook Lopez down low scenario that they weren't ready for in game 2. But are they ready for Giannis Antetokounmpo coming at him? I mean, that's what has to happen here. But, the bench scoring, Duncan, 5 threes. Duncan Robinson is back looking like that finals Duncan. Lowry off the bench, Caleb off the bench. So they feel good. But the Bucks got to stop that wave now.
Yeah.
They got to do it now before it's 3-1.
Yeah.
Giannis is starting, I'm sure. I'm playing a lot. Join us on playback. It'll be fun tonight.
Any thoughts here, TK, on this one?
Well, the Heat are shooting 55% from the field and 50% from 3 against the best defensive team in the league. Obviously, Giannis has played 11 minutes in this series, but there are other good defenders on the Bucks. So you would think Jimmy Butler, somebody could turn him off a little bit here. He's averaging 30 a game, shooting 60% from the field. He's been the best player on the court, and the Heat are shooting so well from 3. That's why they got the lead in this series, and it's because Giannis is out. That was like one of the big question marks back before they won the title. Remember how many times we would talk about why isn't Giannis guarding Jimmy Butler? That's just not what they do. Mm-hmm. Somebody's got to guard Jimmy Butler, though, because the Heat are playing pretty solid defense. I think it seemed to me a lot in this game that their zones and just the way they were attacking defensively made the Bucks play one-on-one a lot. And without Giannis there to draw free throws, score inside, they don't necessarily have the greatest one-on-one players. And if you're talking about the best one-on-one guys in this series, obviously it's Jimmy Butler. So Giannis's return is going to obviously change the way things look, but it's going to be a matter of how does his body respond to having been out for a couple of games here and taking a beating in this game, because surely if he's posting up, he's going to be getting hit in the back again by Bam Adebayo, that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. He's going to take some bumps in this game, but the Bucks, they're a tough team. Giannis is a tough dude. Should be a cool game.
With that Game 3 win, the Heat are halfway to what would be, honestly, a stunner, regardless if he's playing or not. A number 8 seed over a number 1 seed. It's only happened 5 times in the NBA since they went to the 16-team playoff format in '84. Twice happened in 5-game series. Denver over Seattle in '94, New York over Miami in '99, and then 3 times in the best-of-7 series format. The We Believe Warriors over the Mavs in 2007. The Grizzlies over the Spurs. I always forget about that one in 2011. And then Trey knows this one all too well. Philly over Chicago in 6 games in 2012. That's the Derrick Rose injury that we were watching together when that went down.
628 Fleet Street.
That's right. I remember sitting on your couch. I was like, hey, is your wife wearing a V-neck? All right,
I mean, it was 2012. Everybody was wearing V-necks. Come on.
Okay, so final series, and it's over. This series wrapped up before they'd even played a couple Game 3s in a couple of the other series. I'm talking about the 76ers finishing the sweep of the Nets without Embiid, 96-88. Tobias Harris, a great game, 25 and 12. B-Ball Paul stepping up for Embiid, 10 points, 15 boards. Melton had an incredible fourth quarter. I mean, it was sort of similar to Maxey having that incredible fourth quarter the game before. But no Embiid, and they're saying he's like 50% for the potential start of the next series here. But they get the sweep and they get a bunch of time off tests.
Yeah, it's nice for them that the Celtics are at least going 5 and that they played their Game 3 and Game 4 after. Well, I guess the Game 3 was technically before this. But, you know, they're getting a few days off here.
Yeah.
But the Nets, I'm sure, were heartbroken after Game 3 after losing that very winnable game. And, yeah, some nice learning experience for this team. Mikal Bridges is extremely mad at himself after having an off game. But on the other side, yeah, the vets came through. Toby did it again. Tobias Harris.
He's been solid.
Yeah, had a great opening round.
Don't forget Tobias Harris plays for the Sixers. Sometimes it's easy.
He's making James Harden's lousy series forgettable. People are forgetting that. He was subpar, 4 of 18 in this game, but it doesn't matter. They're on to the second round, and they get a little bit of R&R. So, yeah, they couldn't have worked out better for them.
Anything?
I don't have a lot of takes on this one. I think the biggest news out of it is that they get the rest for Embiid, and that's kind of what the rest of the Sixers echoed afterwards. Getting the big fella healthy, that's our number 1 priority, says James Harden. But yeah, Harris played a really good series. I thought he made a lot of clutch plays in Game 3, then obviously had this big Game 4 here as well. And B-Ball Paul, I feel like has had a solid series as the backup center as well. Embiid was good when he was on the court, was not dominant the way we've seen. The Nets did a solid job of taking him out of rhythm and just making his touches harder. But Paul Reed just gave a ton of effort coming off the bench, was in the right place a lot in this series. 10 points, 15 boards in this win. So good stuff from him. The Sixers, I don't know, a sweep. A sweep's cool. They haven't won a sweep for a long time. There were times when it looked great, and then there were times when it looked like, oh, you got some things to work on before going up against the Boston Celtics. But now they got, at least a week to game plan? That's good.
It would be better if it was a sweep and Embiid had somehow managed to not get injured and get hurt. You'd feel maybe a little bit more confidence heading into an inevitable series against the Celtics, but he may not play in Game 1. Are they sandbagging us here?
Oh, they're sandbagging.
You think Doc is?
It's a big bag of sand.
That's a big old bag of sand, eh?
I mean, he was...
Put that bag of sand on the back of your basketball hoop.
It's very handy.
Helps. Very windy at times. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. You're probably right. Can we just wrap up the crazy Nets season here? There was a fun tweet going around from Adam Arecchio, sort of going through, and I even added some that I thought he missed. This is what happened this season for the Brooklyn Nets. Kyrie, he threatens a mid-level signing in LA, then he opts into his contract. KD demands a trade. KD rescinds said trade. The Nets start the season 2-5. They fire Steve Nash. It looks like Ime Udoka is going to get the job. Instead, Jacques Vaughn gets the extension. Kyrie is suspended for sharing a link to an anti-Semitic film. He returns to the team after missing, a decent amount of games. Nets win 18 out of 20. They're rolling again. KD gets hurt. Kyrie gets traded to the Mavericks. KD gets traded to the Suns. Cam Thomas becomes the youngest player in NBA history with 3 straight 40-point games. Remember the Cam Thomas week?
That was a good week.
Yeah.
Mikal Bridges appears to turn into at least an all-star. Plays really well down the stretch with his new teammates, despite sort of like a middling 500 record. And then the Nets wrap up this weird season getting swept by the Philadelphia 76ers. That all happened in one season here for the Brooklyn Nets. And there's probably many more other things you could put in there, but wild. And now the rumor is, Damian Lillard's at this game. The Brooklyn Nets going to trade for Damian Lillard? They're going to trade Ben Simmons' contract and Patty Mills and a bunch of these unprotected Suns picks and maybe their own, and they got a Mavs one. They're going to go get Lillard to pair with Mikal Bridges and Nick Claxton, who's turned into a really good defender.
Head coach Jacques Vaughn was asked about it after the game. Hey, did you see Damian Lillard? He goes, whoa! Are you serious? I've never seen him more excited. Does he know something? I mean, he was jacked. I think he's just a Lillard fan. But people hang out in New York. They go to games.
Yeah. Will they do something?
But obviously there's because of Lillard's situation, you start to think.
Do they have the pieces?
Do they have the pieces?
Got picks.
What's Joe Cronin gonna do?
Okay. Anyway, a weird season, but in the end, they get swept there ultimately by the Philadelphia 76ers. Moving on, our first team through to the second round. Let's take our second and final break, and when we come back, a very fun tweet of the night, and then we'll look ahead to tonight's games. Don't go anywhere.
Oh yeah, our next partner is a product I use daily, Athletic Greens. Athletic Greens is just 1 scoop in a cup of water for better gut health, more energy, and a stronger immune system. No more multivitamin pills for this guy. You know how happy that makes me, and no stanky pill taste either. Don't like that. Who knew vitamins tasted this good? It's true. I go water first, scoop second, which reduces powder in the air. I froth mine, and I've recently got a new frother. It's so powerful that it leaves a layer of foam at the top, though. It's more powerful than my previous frother. It's a different texture in the glass. I might go back to the old frother. I've used AG so long, I have frother preferences. So what is this stuff? With 1 delicious scoop of Athletic Greens, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. All the things. That's how I start my day, first thing in the morning. AG1 is a small micro habit with big benefits. It's one thing you can do every day to take great care of yourself. Athletic Greens has over 7,000 5-star reviews. It's kind of like No Dunks. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition, especially heading into the flu and cold season. Seems a little early for that, but anyway. It's just one scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/nodunks. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/nodunks to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
People pointing out here in the stream team, froth. Great word to say.
I like it.
Yeah.
Frothy.
Froth it up.
Working yourself up into a froth.
Let's get to tweet of the night.
Tweet of the night. Wow.
Twitter.
Yeah, this tweet, I believe, has been seen by 1 million people. This tweet went viral over the weekend. And it's a great tweet, so I wanted to share it with you. Just in case you missed it, it's from @MikeBovai. It's a photo of Mark Jackson, Mike Breen, Jeff Van Gundy sitting there, and then it reads, Mark Jackson, "Even with the trench coats, I knew they were Ninja Turtles. Everybody did." Jeff Van Gundy, quoted as saying, "In 1983, I visited something called a human zoo just outside of Albany. I saw unspeakable things that day that still haunt me to my core." And then Mike Breen, "Foul on Josh Hart." That's a really good tweet.
That's good.
That is just well done. Love this. I guess you'd call it almost a meme. You could have a lot of fun with this one, right? Like the random line from Mark, the weird line from Jeff, and then Mike Breen just calling the action. Yeah. But good stuff there. And like I said, this one, it went viral. This tweet just went viral. Good stuff. Way to go, Mike Bovai, if I'm saying your name correctly. I'm not sure. French man, I believe, of origins.
A French man of origins. I mean, it wasn't. I agree with Mark Jackson here, though. It was quite obvious that the Ninja Turtles were turtles.
Yeah.
They're wearing trench coats. You could see their feet.
I want to know more about this human
And their
zoo.
faces.
What's up with the human zoo?
Oh, yeah. Human zoo.
Please, let's see.
Albany.
In Albany, New York, huh? Yeah, I've been to Albany. I'm buying it. I'm buying there could have been a human zoo. You guys ever been to Albany? Downtown Albany, New York?
Never been to Albany?
No, definitely not
The
downtown.
capital of New York.
Nice one.
Yeah, it's like a Sacramento for California.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect it. You would not.
It's like quite a swerve, isn't it? Well, what were you there for?
Wedding.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, well. Good times?
Oh, yeah. It was a renovated bank that was made into a
Like a
wedding hall.
yeah.
Awesome. Going into the vault. You see the vaults?
Oh, you could go
pretty
into the
neat.
vaults. That's cool.
That's pretty neat.
Take some photos in there.
It was dark in the vault.
Oh, they didn't like put in lights and stuff.
No.
Keep it authentic.
Yeah, it was pure.
Tonight's games, Bucks Heat. We are on playback. 7:30. We'll get underway. It's on TNT. Miami leads us 1-2-1, but Giannis is playing. Jimmy, we assume, is playing. Everybody's playing except for Tyler Hero and Victor Oladipo. And look. I'll say it. Goddammit. This is a must-win for the Milwaukee Bucks.
This is an M-dub.
I don't like betting against like the chances of Jimmy Butler, a lead team, losing three in a row. I don't know. So huge win or game, for the Milwaukee Bucks tonight in Miami, and we'll see if the Heat can take a 3-1 lead. And then the second game is Grizzlies Lakers at 10 o'clock. LA leading that series 2-1.
It's very nice to start at 10, not 10:30.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I do like that. Well, I mean, what's wrong with a 7 and 9:30?
Oh, nothing wrong with that either.
Let's do that instead.
Hey,
They know that Heat fans aren't going to show up for 7, so they got to get 7:30. That's true. We all know they show up late, except for Ludmila in the front row. She'll be there, dress on. But everybody else
She'll be
shows up
there.
late. She makes her own dresses.
She is there. I know.
Yeah.
She's an opera singer, right?
That's
world
right.
famous opera singer Jim Jackson knows her.
We're talking about the woman that you
He
see
said it one time.
in the front row of every Heat game that has like the most eclectic dresses, and sometimes their jerseys sewn into dresses. But she switches it up.
Yeah, Jim Jackson. I guess it was early in this series, or
I think so,
or
yeah.
maybe the playing game.
Yeah, maybe it was the playing game. Whoever he was broadcasting with noticed her sitting on the sideline. He's like, oh yeah, she's a world famous singer. I know her. I played in a lot of cities. I've met a lot of people sitting courtside, which I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah, and then he said, yeah, I wouldn't be doing my job. It'd be almost dumb, a disservice to myself if I didn't meet these people. It's a good way. That's right. It's a good way of thinking about it, Jimmy.
That's fair.
I had to Google her. He just knows her.
I was catching up on some press box podcasts this weekend, and one of them was Brian and Shoemaker talking about, are we in the golden age of NBA broadcasting? And their point was, we have Mike Breen, Kevin Harlan, and Eagle in their primes when it comes to calling games. I was like, that's three like A+, basically.
Yeah,
like legends are on their way to
crew.
legends, and then I'm like, Mark Jones is like, I love Mark Jones on the call. Him and Doris had a bit of a rough one there, I thought, maybe in Game 4, but I like him as a national guy too.
Yeah,
I think the answer is yes.
It's a golden age.
So I just
Seems like it.
I gotta agree.
Right?
It's golden, baby.
How do you rank them in terms of your preference?
Oh.
Breen, Harlan, Eagle. I know it has to do with who they're working the game with, but just the play-by-play of it all in a playoff game.
PA's doing a good job as well.
Hey, look.
But we're talking.
Yeah, we're
just
talking
legends of the game.
Yeah, we're
here.
talking.
PA, Harlan,
ESPNs.
Eagle. God, I love an Eagle.
Yeah, he's definitely the funniest of the three.
And the least legendary. I assume he's the youngest.
He is.
Yeah, I
Not
think
by too much though.
Yeah.
man, that's a tough call. I think I'm going Breen, Eagle, Harlan.
Okay, wow, man, Harlan third. I mean, Harlan's incredible.
Got some of the most iconic calls of the past 2 decades. I would say, with no regard for human life.
Yeah.
But yeah, Eagle brings the humor, but Breen's the king right now. He's on top of the game.
Yeah.
He replaced Marv Albert for a reason.
Yeah.
Drop those bangs.
Drop those
bangs in the stream team. People are conflicted, though. I love this. People chiming in the order you would put them. And then somebody just said, I love turtles. Shout out to Dream Shake. All right, let's call it there, guys. Enjoy the games tonight. Join us on Playback. I'll get that link in the show notes. We'll tweet that out 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Playback for that Game 4 between the Bucks and the Heat. We'll be back tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern. Make sure you subscribe. Otherwise, embrace the day, people. Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, Aaron Gordon is not related to Eric Gordon.
Embrace the day, people.
Or Jeff.